2018. Previous experiences include financial planner, real estate investor, and construction contractor, which kind of gives them a unique ability to guide clients as they regain their own financial standing and allows them to re-enter the real estate market as an owner and or investor. He's the author of iFix, which is credit repair home study course. It's designed for consumers who want to repair their own credit score. And most recently, he's become a licensed real estate agent with Keller Williams Real Estate in Elk Grove. Please welcome John Lauer.
Well, this is an honor to be able to come here and speak with you tonight. Can I cover this up? Do you mind?
No.
You can see the other guy in person instead of on the screen. I'm walking back and forth. From my first...
Oh, no, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I'm bad about that. So from my first meeting, I was at that January one. This really has grown. The room has gotten here a lot. I think there's a lot of people here are understanding the importance of strength and how it's changing you personally as well as your business. What I was going to talk about more tonight is how it's changed me personally. So I want to go back to kind of the beginning where it all started. I was standing in a reception area. Brandon was my business coach. And I'm sitting in this reception area waiting for our appointment. And they have a long reception counter that goes over, a long counter that goes up against the wall. And I see this little book leaning against the wall. And so it caught my eye, that white book with the red trim. And I walked over to look at it. It said Strength Finders 2.0. Read a little bit, and I said, wow, that's interesting. I'm going to have to ask Brandon about that when we have our meeting. So I go in, ask Brandon, and he gave me kind of a quick rundown. You have 34 strengths Gallup has found, and the top 5, they'll look at what they believe in, and strengthening those instead of working on the ones that maybe are not your strengths, more on the bottom. I said, that's fascinating. I want to get that book, and I want to take that test. I really want to see what makes me tick. So let's fast forward. About a year later, I'm standing in his reception area, waiting for our appointment, looking at this long counter with a book over there leaning against the wall, and I said, I remember that book. I never did buy it. I never did get it. So I asked him again, and he encouraged me, and I bought the book. I took the test, and I was amazed. So when I asked if any of you had a similar experience as I did, I took the test, I looked at my top 5, and it nailed me. It was just who I am. Who experienced that? Did anybody take the test and understand, man, that is me? The thing is that I didn't understand all those. I knew my personality traits and things that I did, but they weren't itemized in individual little pieces. It was kind of everything was packed into a ball, and it didn't make sense, and I'll explain it here in a minute. So I want to go over my top 5. Number 1, as was mentioned, is harmony. So harmony is one of those that does not like conflict at all. If there's conflict, it looks for resolution. It'll run from it. Harmony will have an opinion on things, but that opinion is never better than anybody else's. And if you're strong about your opinion, we'll usually say, okay, you can have it. My number 2 is futuristic. Futuristic to me is fascinating. I love it. It's also one of my most frustrating things. So futuristic is a visionary, a dreamer, very positive. The cup is half full and getting fuller all the time. So that might make you think, okay, so what would be frustrating about that? That sounds pretty cool, right? Well, it's in light of the next 3. See, dreamer has no boundaries, futuristic has no boundaries. It just sees something and goes. Number 3 is analytical, which doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. You have to chart this out. You have to test it. You have to prove it before you do anything. And I thought maybe this is one of God's sense of humor, is putting my futuristic and my analytical right next to each other. Okay. So number 4 is achiever. Now achiever, that's one of those when I read it on the list and I just had to chuckle. Because achiever likes lists. They like to put lots of things on that list. I do make lists in the morning. Every day in the morning I'll make a list. I'll look at that list and I know personally there is no way humanly possible I can finish everything on that list. But at the end of the day, I'm still frustrated because I didn't finish the stuff on the list. I once described myself as a list of lists type of person. Meaning my list got so big and so involved, I had to break it down into smaller lists. And then I needed a list to keep track of those lists. Okay? So, my number 5 is activator. Activator is the tough guy, the one with no patience. The one that's, we need to get going. We need to get this done. The clock is ticking. Come on, let's go. Okay. So these are my 5. But before Strength Finders, before I understood that there was 5 different, if you want to count personalities or so, they were all talking in my head at the same time. So think of this. We've all seen the cartoon before, the one that had an angel on one shoulder, devil on the other, and they're both talking in the person's ear, trying to get them in one direction or the other. Well, I had all 5 of them working at once. And sometimes you think you're going crazy. So harmony is saying, hey guys, can't we just all get along? You know, we don't need to fight, we don't need to squabble. Futuristic is chasing a dream, it's shining lights with open corners out of here. Analytical is getting upset, saying, come on back, I haven't gone through the processes yet. It's not bad, you can't go. Achievers right here being upset with analytical because they're saying, you're taking too long to vet this out, I need to get it on my list and try to get something done. And then activator was angry with everybody because you're all too slow. Well, through coaching, I've come to look at my strengths more as, think of as muscles. I've worked out my entire life, and how do you strengthen a muscle? First of all, you have to isolate it, and then you do a specific exercise to build it, make it grow. So if I want to build my biceps, I do curls. If I want to build my chest, I'm going to do bench press. It's the same with your strengths. Once we've taken a test and we've isolated them, then individually we can work on them and make them grow. So through coaching now, it's brought my personality muscles into alignment. And so no longer is it that squabble, that argument in my head. Now it's more of a conversation. It's a group working together. Futuristic is a little ADD and takes off on its own sometimes. I have to go back and get it and bring it in. Okay? But now each of those have been strengthened and are still being strengthened. I'll look at it more like a business now. Okay? So if we're employers, we have several employees or other people that work with us, they all have their responsibilities, their own job descriptions. So that's what I do now. I look at it this way. Harmony is now in charge of first impressions and building relationships. Futuristic is in charge of helping harmony actually bring vision and goal to my clients. And also chairs the committee on future growth and expansion as well, because it's always thinking out there. Once those ideas are developed, they're handed off to my analytical. Analytical will vet them, will test them, make sure they're proper, and then we'll hand it off to Achiever. Achiever is going to put it in the proper organization, the proper list, the proper order. And what Achiever has learned is that it's going to take the most important pieces and is going to take care of themselves, take care of those pieces themselves. The rest of them are delegated out to others so more things get done on this. Activator is the foreman in charge, the one that makes sure things happen, the one that still cracks the whip, keeps everybody in order, but is in charge of making sure things are professionally done in a timely manner. I'm the president of that company called John Lauer. That's my company, my group. With those traits and those businesses, or before I should say, I look back and I wonder how did I ever perform or do what I did without knowledge, without understanding my strengths and being able to use them properly. But now that I do know, my future, my business are going faster than ever, are brighter than ever, and it all started with standing in a waiting room, looking at a long reception counter, a little white book leaning against the wall. And I bought that book. That's it, all I have to say.
Where did you take the test?
How long goes it been, Brandon? It's been about a year and a half, I think.
A year and a half? I hope that's an encouragement to you, especially those who have taken the test recently. Is it Louise? Mindy. You took the test at 5:20. I couldn't remember what you were. She took the test today at 5:25? Finished it at 5:25. What a great encouragement. I mean, you've got such a great handle on it, John, of your 5 strengths and how it's working in your life. So thank you for that. That was a great encouragement. Our third speaker tonight, she is an executive. And she's about, okay, you're going to make a switch? You're going to take on the board. She's Vice President of Development and Community Relations at SACTO, which is Sacramento Area Commerce and Trade Commission, which focuses on bringing jobs to our area and investing in the region on a global basis. And her number one strength is strategic. She has over 10 years of business experience in development and leadership with a degree in business management and is a certified leadership coach and trainer. She quickly learned the importance of leadership when she pioneered the very first energy division in Northern California at Aerotech, where she built and developed a team of over 300 people, received top national recognition. She is a firm believer in living within your strength zone and outside your comfort zone to make the biggest impact within your business and community. She's been on the board for eWomen Network, is a chair for the American Cancer Society, a member of Vistage, and was recently recognized as one of the finalists for the Business Journal's top 40 under 40 gave away your age.
It's under 40.
Yeah, right. I would have guessed I might have said under 30 in the Sacramento region. Please welcome Anna Campbell.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. By no means am I an expert in Strength Finder, but I feel so privileged to share my story because I'm definitely a huge advocate and very passionate about learning more. Today, I'm going to be talking just kind of briefly about my story with Strength Finder, and the subject here is the strength-based culture begins with one. Little did SACTO know that when I met Rand and Miller, they would all be trained in Strength Finder eventually. So now everyone in our office has a book and taking the test, so it's been really exciting. So before I get started, who here has taken Strength Finder? Fantastic. And has anyone here implemented it within their business or within their company? Fantastic. Okay, so I'll probably learn a lot from you guys. My contact information is on there, so let me know. We're just in the beginning stages. So during our brief time today, I'm just going to touch on my personal strength story, the Train the Trainer program, and implementing a strength-based culture. Now, this doesn't only need to be within your company. This can happen in your family too. I feel bad for my future kids. I've already planned on teaching them leadership, and now I have a strength-based book, so I'm sure they're scared already. So, first, starting off with my personal story is, as I mentioned in my bio, I am a certified leadership coach. And one of the biggest things I worked on with clients I worked with, executives in the region, and business owners were, what are your strengths? The most important thing that you can do personally and professionally is focus on those for yourself and also as you're building your team. So when I was introduced to Strength Finder, I loved it because it actually put a label on a strength. I don't know about anybody else, but prior to Strength Finder, when people asked what your strengths were, was it kind of vague? Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty good at cold calling, and I think I'm good at sales. And I'm like, I am strategic. I love how I could label it. So now having this tool belt within our organization and with our family and friends, yes, everyone's getting introduced to Strength Finder right now, we're able to help build that. Now, one of the biggest things was, with Strength Finder, a lot of people were asking, well, what type of career should I be in? Did anyone else ask themselves that? As soon as I got my results, I said, Brandon, what is the best position for me? But the biggest thing I had to learn was it's not what you should do with this, but it's how you should do it. Everyone in this room has different passions, and you're getting pulled in different ways, but now incorporating your strengths and learning those is how you can make the biggest impact. So when I first got my top 5, being a coach, I had to coach myself, and so I started looking at, okay, throughout my professional career, when did I have the most fun? When did time just fly by? And I encourage you guys to try this as well. And I just started journaling down different situations that I was in. Ironically enough, but not so ironic, I could find all 5 of my top strengths in there. From the mistakes I made, maybe in the basement, and then some of my successes when I was actually working within the balcony. So a perfect example. So my top 5, I am strategic, futuristic, belief, activator, and focus. So when I was reflecting back earlier on in my career, I was thinking about my first sales position at Victoria's Secret. And they were underperforming in their business department, or excuse me, their beauty department. So what my favorite thing to do was I went in there, I strategically looked at the business. I love productivity and efficiency, so I instantly thought, how can I help increase? Well, I'm, 18 years old. My manager is sitting there, I come into our office and I said, tell her, I can make this more productive. Whatever, she makes minimum wage, do whatever you want to do. So I instantly went into this puzzle piece, and that strategy is the core of my profession and what led me here. I got to figure out this whole way to streamline the process, recruit the girls, but then the activator came in. Because nothing could stop me, even though people were wondering why I was doing it. The focus, I stayed on track, and we were able to increase productivity. But guess where I wasn't a strong performer? Well, as a young college student, I had a credit card with Victoria's Secret. And the debt was a little too high. So I could not sell a credit card to save my life. And I am competitive, it's in my top 10. For some reason, I could not get there. It's driving me nuts. I learned about my top 5. It was that dang belief. I could not sell someone a credit card when I had that much debt of my own. But the products and services I loved, and my credit card knew it. So, So, because of Train the Trainer program that was introduced and just everything I was experiencing on a personal and professional level, I don't know about you guys, but do you kind of look at the world differently now that you understand strengths? You meet people and you're like, I bet focus is in their top 5. Everyone in my office, I had to bite my tongue and not tell them what I thought. And Brandon coached me on that. He said, Anna, do not tell anyone what you think. The activator, right? It was coming out. So I was just going to share something kind of funny. Yesterday or over the weekend, I was watching Cake Boss. Have you guys seen that at all? Okay, love that show. So I was looking at him and I was like, I wonder what his top 5 are. So one of them is individualization, for sure. He is someone who can bring different people with different skill sets together to be the most productive. He has a welder. He has someone who knows electronics, and he has bakers, and he's making these amazing cakes. The one I just saw on Sunday was a huge firehouse that he lit on fire and then put it out with water, and then everyone ate it. And I said, you know what? This guy is in his strength zone, and no one else in this room has the top 5 strengths. And if we start developing those, we can be the best in the world at what we do. And I don't know about you guys, but that gets me excited. So I had to invest more. I had a great talk with our CEO, and I said, I need to do Train the Trainer. And it was one of the best experiences I've had. Some of the women that were in the group, amazing. So to come to a group number 1.
There it is. I was in the first one.
To come into a group of like-minded individuals who are passionate about strengths and passionate about helping other people, and then getting into the weeds of what strengths can do and how we can help individuals achieve their goals by using their strengths is so powerful. What coaches, who's certified right now through Strength Finder? Will you guys stand up? And Brandon and 34 Strong, these are the folks, if you guys are interested in diving in more, can be a great resource. So, one thing, I think I'm taking up a little time, sorry, I love stories.
You're at 8 minutes.
All right, so let's skip this. So I guess I'll just finish up by saying that if you are looking at incorporating a strength-based culture within your family, your organization, the few things I'm going to highlight, number 1, you need buy-in. At the leadership level, our CEO is so growth-oriented that I feel very fortunate for that. It was an easy sell. Also, understand the why from an executive level and from those who are involved. The better you can describe that and let people know, the more buy-in there'll be before you start the process. I've had a ton of objections so far. Like, I'm going to retire in a couple years. I don't need this. Are you kidding me? Are you just going to sit on your couch after you're done working? This will show you what you enjoy doing and how you can incorporate it. So overall, I'll just conclude so I don't go too long, but thank you guys so much for your time, and please share the things that you've learned as well. This is such an exciting process to meet people who value strengths as much as we do. Thank you.